Hello and welcome back to another episode of Math with Sohn. Today is a unique lesson in which, for me, I might be introduced to you for the very first time. Just so you know, I am a teacher here with you guys. You are not alone in this world of Beachside High School. I'm here to help you. I got videos that I'm going to be making for each of these things that I make, and I'm not going to do every problem for you. So the problems that I do will be your notes, and the problems I don't do will be your assignment. Okay? These will be graded on Schoology. Everything's going to be posted if everything goes to plan. But for right now, let's just get into the video. Again, Mr. Sohn here to help. All right. So these are going to be probability and Venn diagrams. We're going to have, you should have a full packet of things that are going to be dealing with probability handed to you. So what you need to do for a Venn diagram is you need to start in the middle. Don't start at the edges. So start in the middle. Hopefully it's provided to you. 6 of these people like all 3 subjects, which makes sense because what are the odds that you actually like math, social studies, and science, all 3? Pretty low. So that's what goes in the middle. Okay? Now if 6 like all 3, now we got to work our way towards the middle. We're still going to be in the middle, but we're going to work our way a little bit outward. So let's just say 18 like math and science. So here, 18 like math and science. Well, 6 of them like all 3. Out of those 18, 6 are going to like all 3. So you can do 18, take away 6, and you get 12. So 12 plus 6 makes 18. That is going to be the crossover between math and science. All right? And if 10 like science and social studies, we look here in this sliver right here where it's overlapping both. If 10 like math, science and social studies, we have to put a 4 here because 4 plus 6 makes 10. Don't overthink it, ladies and gentlemen. 12 like math and social studies, we got 6 here. 6 in this overlap between these two would be 12. 12 is what we want for that. Okay, now we get to do the outside edge. We finally get to do the outside edge. We got 35 for social studies. Well, how much do we have here so far? We got 6 plus 6 plus 4. 6 plus 6 plus 4 between all 3 of those. 6 plus 6 plus 4 is 16. So we got 16 there. We got 35 total. So if you do 35 minus 16, 35 minus 16 is 19. So we got 19 left over for that one. All right. Now let's do this. We got 6 plus 6 plus 12 for the math. 6 plus 6 plus 12, which is 24. So we got 24 total already. 56 total like math. 56 minus 24 leaves us with 32. These are a little tedious. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sorry. And then we got science. So we got science. We got 43 like science. So if we add up these, 10 from 6 plus 4 plus 12. Let's do that. 6 plus 4 plus 12 ends up equaling 22. So we already have 22 of them. And we know that how many like science? We know that 43 like science. So 43 minus 22 ends up equaling 21 left over for them science-only people. So 21 people only like science, 32 people only like math, and 19 people only like social studies. Now we can answer some questions. How many people like math only? They only like math. 32. 32 only like math. How many people like science only? 21. The hard part was filling in the Venn diagram. Doing the questions is the easy part. If one person is chosen from random, what is the probability that they will like science and math? Now we get to some probability stuff. So, first of all, science and math was provided to us. It was 18. So this is going to be 18 divided by something. And that is going to be the total of everybody that that could have been chosen. So we have to add up everybody, but luckily, thank goodness, luckily, they've already added up everybody. It's 100, okay? On the problem that you're going to have to do by yourself, you're going to have to add up all the numbers to get the total. So if I added up 32, 12, 21, 6, 6, 4, and that, if I added up all those, 32 plus 12 plus all those, it would equal 100. Okay, so luckily, that was provided to us. If we do 18 divided by 100, you get 0.18. Well, you don't want to write 0.18. It says probability, which could be written as 0.18, or it could be written as 18%. Okay, so both of them are an acceptable answer. A lot of times you'll see probability as a decimal. A lot of times you'll see it as a fraction. And sometimes you'll see it as a percent. If one person is chosen at random, what is the probability that the person will only like math? Well, how many people only liked math? 32 out of the total, 100, which is 0.32, or 32%, ladies and gentlemen. They won't always be 100, so the percentages, sometimes you'll have to grab a calculator. If one person is chosen at random, what is the probability that person will not like science? Which, by the way, could be written like this, not like science. This little squiggle means they don't like it. Or it could be science prime, like an S prime. Okay? So how many people don't like science? There's a lot of people that don't like science. 21 people like science. So if 21 people like science, and there's 101 people total, you could do 100 minus that, and you get 79 people don't like science. They hate science. They're like, no, don't like it. Okay? The other option is you can add 4 plus 19 plus 6 plus 6 plus 12 plus 32. That would also get you to 79. Okay, so the probability of not liking science, 79 people hated science out of the 100, which is 0.79 or 79%, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? If one person chosen at random, what is the probability that person will like science or math? Science or. See the science or part? So that means that they are allowed to like science, they are allowed to like math, they're also allowed to like social studies as long as they like science or math. So that means that it could be anybody in this circle or anybody in this circle. And it would be just essentially you don't like social studies. Or you only, let me say this the right way. You don't only like social studies. That was very difficult to come up with English-wise. The important thing is you add up all of these things in the circle, which is going to be 32 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 21. So if we do that, 32 plus 12 plus 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 21, you will end up with 81. And you might be wondering, wow, how did I do that in my head? 19 people don't fit into this category. 100 minus 19 also equals 81. Okay? So 81 out of 100 is 0.81 or 81%. Alrighty. If one person is chosen at random, we're on number 12. One person chosen at random, what is the probability that person will like science but not math? So let's look at science. Let's see science. So science, but not math. So we need to like science, but we hate math. So what portion of this is in the science bubble, but not in the math bubble? So here's the science bubble, this whole circle. Out of that circle that I kept circling for whatever reason, which one is not a part of math? These two. See how these two are still like science, but do not like math. So that is 21 and 4. 21 plus 4 is 25. Okay? So one person chosen at random. What is the probability that they will like science but not math? 25 out of 100, which is 0.25 or 25%. Okay? All right. So that is the generic ones if you choose one person at random. There's other scenarios where it could ask, out of the people that like social studies, what is the chances that they like science? Okay, so I'm going to do one problem. I'm going to add a 13 right here. 13. Okay, let's do the probability that they like math if they, let me think of it. If they like social studies, if they like, social studies, what is the probability they like math? So what changed this time? If they like social studies, what is the probability that they also like math? Which means that the total will be not 100, but the total will be the total for social studies. Okay, that's the difference. So how many people like social studies, period? Total people that like social studies is 35. So 35 people like social studies. I'm going to have to go up here. 35 people like social studies. Out of those 35, how many people also liked math? How many people are in the math sliver? 12 people are in that math sliver that are also in the social studies circle. So this would be 12 out of 35, which is not an easy thing to do. 12 divided by 35 is 0.342, which is 34.2%. Okay? So we didn't have that problem. I'm worried that it'll pop up later and I didn't cover it. And if I'm not in the room, I don't want you to be confused. Okay? So let's flip the paper over. I'm not doing this one. That'll be the one that you have to do for yourself. So let's flip it over. Let's do a few from here, but not too many, because it's not hard. It's just annoying because they didn't draw the circles for you. Okay? So let's do, let's do number 2. Okay, no, this one's going to take you a while, so take your time with it. But let's do number 2, and then we'll do one more, and then I'll be done talking, which you might like. Maybe you like hearing me talk, but maybe you don't. Some people do, some people don't. All right, so we have to draw our own Venn diagram here, which is unfortunate, but maybe you can fit it in. I'm going to do it on a separate sheet of paper, which you are welcome to do as well. We have 400 college students. So I'm going to do a box here that shows that we have 400 total college students. And we have math, and we have English. And that's the only two. So we only have 2 circles here. And I'm going to label one math, and I'm going to label one English. Okay? And we have how many are in both, because we need to start with the middle. We have 55 that are in both. Let's get this organized right. Get my camera situated. There we go. That looks better. So we got 55 are in both. We always start with the middle. 55 are in both. How many are enrolled in math total? Not 400. This is the 400 are total in the college. So if 120 are in math, we have to do 120 minus that 55. There'd be 65 that are only going to be in math and not in English. And then we have English. We have 220 total in English. So if English is 220, we have to do 220 minus 55, and we get 165 that are in the English circle. So let's make sure that that English circle, if you add 165 and 55, does that make the 220? Yes. If you add 55 and 65, does that make the 120 in math? Yes. Now there's 400 people in this college. Not all of them are taking math and English. There might be taking something like criminology or some other weird stuff that we don't know. So that 400 is other people that are not taking things. All right. The students enrolled in mathematics. All right. If the student is selected at random, there we go. Find the probability that a student is enrolled in mathematics. That would be 120 out of 400. We didn't even need the Venn diagram to do that. 120 divided by 400 is 0.3, which is 30%. Which, by the way, for you guys wondering what that is, you can also multiply by 100 to get the percent. You can always multiply by 100 and it tells you the percent. The student is enrolled in math or English. How many total people are in math or English? We need to be careful because you can't add 120 and 220. You can only add these 3 bubbles because that overlap means that you can't count them twice. So if we add these 3 together, 65 plus 55 plus 110. Was it 110? Nope, it was 165. If we add all 3 of those together, excuse me, we get 285. So 285 are enrolled in both, or 285 out of the 400 are enrolled in one or the other. So 285 divided by 400 is 0.7125, which I kind of thought that was a pretty number, or 71.25%. All right. The student is enrolled in either math or English, but not both. Okay, so we don't want them to be enrolled in both. So what is the probability that they're enrolled in either math or English, but not math and English? Well, 65 are enrolled in math, 165 are enrolled in English, but 55 are enrolled in both. So we just meant the ones that are enrolled in one or the other, but not both. So 65 are in math, 165 are in English. We don't include the 55 in the middle, so we just add those 2 up, and we get 230 out of the 400. 230 divided by 400 is 57.5% when you multiply by 100. Okay? So we got one more problem for you guys, everybody. And it's either going to be 4 or 5. I think I'm going to pick 5 just because it looks worse. All right, so I'm going to do number 5. So the probability that a husband employed is 85%. You can pretend that that is 85 people. You can pretend. 85 people. The probability that a wife is employed is 60%, or you can pretend that that is 60 people out of 100 wives or women. All right. The probability that both are employed is 55. Okay. So if we do that, keep this in mind, how many total people would we have? If there's 85, that's 85 out of 100 men, assuming a husband is a man. I'm sorry. And then a wife would be 60 out of 100 women. Okay? So with that in mind, we have a Venn diagram we can set up. And in the middle, we have a 55, which I'm going to redraw that. I'm out of room. Bigger circles. Here we go. 55 in the middle. That worked out better, which is convenient because I think it was 55 last time in the middle. Then how many of them are going to be women that are not going to be employed with it? It would be 5. Okay? 5, 55, then 85 would be, I think that would be what, 30? Does 30 plus 55 make 85 for men? We got men over here. We got women over there. Let's see if the probabilities are going to stack up, okay? So how many total people do we have? We have a total of 200. We would have 100 men and 100 women. 100 men and 100 women. Okay. So let's do the probabilities. Let's make sure that this all works out. So what is the probability that a wife is employed? We got 60 here. Is 60 divided by 200.6 though? No. 60 divided by 200 is 0.3. So what do you think the total might need to be instead of 200? Let's try 100. Because there's nothing wrong with guessing a few times, you know? What is 5 plus 60? It is 5 plus 55 is 60. 60 divided by 100 is 60%. So it was really a total of 100 out of 100 people surveyed. We're just going to make it 60, 55, and 85, which makes it a little bit easier. We don't have to think too much. All right, let's do the problem. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. At least one of them is employed. Well, how many total numbers are you looking at here? We got 5 plus 55 plus 30. 5 plus 55 plus 30 is a number. It's 90. So 90 out of the total 100 is 90%. So 90%, at least one of them is employed, which means that 10%, neither of them are employed. Okay? Now, this problem was able to be done without a Venn diagram, and we're going to be doing that in some of the days leading up to, like, later. All right, and that'll be on probably page 3 if I had to guess. Some of these, but those look scary. I didn't think you wanted to start with that. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Please finish your worksheet, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, stay positive, and I will see y'all later. Bye.